Hello, everybody. This is Nicole Whitlock with the Ecom Seller Summit. And today I have a special broadcast for you. We have the awesome, the amazing, the beautiful Miss LaSalle Everett. Hey.
Hey.
And we are here to talk about taxes. Nobody wants to talk about taxes. Nobody wants to talk about
Nobody wants, even tax people don't want to talk about taxes right now.
Nobody wants to talk about taxes, but we're going to taxes. We're not going to spend all night talking about it, but we want to just kind of give you guys a heads up. The filing deadline is coming up, so you need to start getting ready for them taxes. So I'm going to let Ms. Lysandra have the floor so we all know what we need to be doing if we didn't do it in April. So
yeah. Okay.
Take it away.
So listen, okay, so I'm always honored to come and speak with the ecom community. This is where I got my start really actually making money online before I became the fabulous tax chick. So ecom is always going to be special to me. And I still dabble. I ain't dabbled nowhere this year because this tax season has been tragic for everyone. So tonight, so before I forget, I do have a link for a checklist for you all, for all your deductions and whatnot. So I do have that for you. And it's not even a lead list builder, nothing. You just get the link. It's the Google download. You just download it and get your life. Okay. All right. So, but what's going on right now? Okay. So we know everybody was impacted with the whole coronavirus drama. Okay. Even on the e-commerce side, where Amazon shut everything down. So they were sending all of the, the PPE kind of stuff. So that impacted people's profits as well. The slower shipping times, like I've seen the people crying and screaming, it was supposed to be here 2 days ago and now it's just now getting here. Like, baby, did you get the memo that we got the coronavirus going on? So I've seen it. I've seen where people are sending back, are requesting refunds for the dumbest things. And even, some sellers, people claiming they never got their stuff. And of course, those automatic refunds and you're losing out on your sale and your product. So there's a lot of stuff that was happening on the e-commerce front as well, just like in the brick and mortar sector. So I want to just share with you just kind of some mindset things that you need to have for this season if you have not filed yet, and also going into next season. So the first thing is, yes, the filing deadline for federal is July 15th. But if you don't know what your state is doing, your state may not have conformed to federal. So you may already be late for your state. Like I live in Virginia. Virginia was like, no, they're due May 1st. We ain't moving. And we'll give you an extra month to pay your tax liability, but we ain't moving the deadline. So, so you have to know what your state is doing, because if you have a tax liability and you've already missed your state, then you're going to have that penalty already. Okay. So find out what your state is doing. But also realize that the calendar is now against you, right?
Yeah.
Simply because there are people, even though we were trying, like, listen, please don't wait till July to file your taxes, because we weren't trying to work all summer anyway, but it just wasn't a good idea that if you could at least file and get it out of the way and still have that additional time to pay, to go ahead and file. But a lot of people didn't do that. We still have people that are doing the last minute, oh my gosh, can you file my taxes? And we're tapped out, like seriously. Mm-hmm. So, but understand that the calendar is now against you going into next year, because if you're just now doing, cleaning up your books and doing your bookkeeping for 2019 in July, that means you probably have not started on 2020. Now, when I say the calendar is against you, this is why. So you have your federal due date of July 15th. Okay. If you've been an e-com boss, and if you've been hanging out with Nicole, you have. Okay. If not, hang around some more and you will be. But you also have your Q1 and your Q2 estimates that are also due July 15th. So if you have not been preparing for that, you've got 3 tax bills that are due on one day. Okay. if you've got estimated tax payments, that's how that's going to work out. You got 3 bills that are due on one day. And then your Q3 will still be due in September, right?
So their Q1 and their Q2. All right.
Yes, their Q1 and their Q2 estimated tax payments are both due July 15th. So if you have not paid any estimates, you don't even know what your estimates are supposed to be, this is when the calendar is going to work against you, because then you still have to start getting ready for 2020. You're trying to get your life ready for Q4 for boss out season, and you're dealing with this stuff. So and that's the next thing, which is the bookkeeping aspect. I cannot stress to you guys how important this is, because what a lot of small business owners found out, and it's small businesses on all levels, so not just even e-com or brick and mortar dependent, is that all of these funds that were available, you heard about the PPP and the EIDL, the ABCD, EFG, all that. If your bookkeeping was not in order, you didn't get any money. Now, they just extended today. I don't know if the president signed it today, but I know the House decided last night that they were going to extend the PPP application time to August 8th. It was cut off at June 30th. So if you're a sole proprietor, if you filed your taxes and you showed a profit on your taxes, you can apply for these funds. Okay. So, and listen, it's really easy. Please, oh, please, oh, please do not fall for these scammers that are telling you they're going to get you, $10,000 in the EIDL grant, because they're lying. Because people are getting hemmed up. Like people are, I had a lady in my inbox today saying, how can we send this money back? Because we don't think we got it the right way. Because you got people out here saying, okay, I'm just going to take a percentage of whatever you get. So, but PPP and the EIDL, those are two different things. So PPP, that's the Paycheck Protection Plan. If you're a sole proprietor and you filed your taxes for 2019, if you'd already done that, then you would be ready to file, right? You would be ready to apply, but you are eligible, even as a sole proprietor, for PPP funds, okay? The EIDL funds, the Economic Injury Disaster Loan, that is where you hear about the grant. As a sole proprietor, you are eligible for those funds too, okay? But that goes back to the bookkeeping part. So if you're not keeping your books, you can't provide the profit and loss statement. If you're not filing your taxes on time, you can't provide the schedule. They're not doing 2018 schedule C, they're doing 2019. Okay, if you're a sole proprietor, single member LLC, you can apply for these funds. You have until August 8th for PPP, and then you have until I think September 30th for the EIDL. Okay. So it doesn't matter if you don't have employees, right? It can be you, okay? You count as one. So you actually can apply for these funds, but you got to have your books in order. That's the main thing, okay? The other thing that's going on out in these streets for the e-com squad is still not claiming your income properly. It is still a problem. I just had a client who was on Shopify. She had a huge year and like 7-figure grossing year, but what she was reporting to me was not them 7 figures. And so when I started looking at her documents, I was like, okay, no, this number here is what's going to the IRS. Okay, so when you're getting those 1099Ks, it's not what your proceeds are, is what your gross sales are. Okay, that's what you report as your overall income, and then all of those selling fees get deducted as expenses. Because what happens is, if you report that improperly, if your tax return doesn't match that 1099K or that 1099 miscellaneous, whatever, the IRS is going to send you a letter and say, you've underreported your income. Here's your penalty. Send us a check, please, and thank you.
All right.
You don't want to do that. Okay.
All right. So gross sales and not proceeds, people.
Gross sales. And then all of those expenses, whether it's Amazon, Shopify, eBay, PayPal, all of those fees are tax deductible. So you deduct those fees as expenses on your tax return. Okay. And so that's why I have that checklist to let you know that you can deduct those fees. Okay. What else I got going on? I think those were the main things. It's just really also being aware of this calendar, because again, you know, you're going to find yourself behind the 8 ball. And going into filing for next year, we're already going to be reeling from all of this stuff, right, that happened in 2020. Congress is notorious for saying, hey, we're going to pass some stuff in like December, January for last year. You know, it's already going to be crazy.
Yep. And like, sometimes it gets passed and sometimes it doesn't.
Sometimes it doesn't. But it's already going to be bananas. So I'm really going to encourage you to really work on getting ready early, because there's just going to be so much administratively going on. It's going to be a lot for the tax professionals, because we already know, like, all of the rules that are kind of being written on the way down. We got to learn that stuff. Tax companies and their softwares, the programmers have to catch up. So I would, like I said, really strongly encourage you to have your stuff together early, and and save yourself some of that headache of waiting until the last minute, because you won't get the full advantage of like somebody with a level head preparing your taxes, or even your own level head preparing your taxes, right? So yeah.
All right. I am so glad that I'm typing. I'm actually putting this stuff in the chat. So
okay.
Legislative changes in early 2021 that will affect your 2020 reporting.
Yeah.
So, and I'm just making sure everybody's getting all the key notes here, because there is a lot. And I know that they're going to, we know that they've done that in the past, and this year has just been really weird. So here's a couple of tips, and then Lysandra can tell me if I got them right or didn't get them right. You know, all of these, dealing with these returns, make sure you're keeping good records about what's happening with your sales and with transactions in March, April, and May. Because again, a lot of different sellers that were selling on Amazon and other platforms were impacted by either massive returns, or, you know, people claiming they didn't get stuff. So some of this stuff becomes a write-off, and she can correct me if I'm wrong, but you need to keep records of all of that. So make sure you're keeping records of things that are happening, the returns that are happening, that kind of stuff. Make sure that, you know, for those of you that are transitioning from doing FBA to using a prep center, make sure you're keeping track of all those transactional fees as well. Going to a prep center, that the cost is going to be fairly close, but it's going to look different than it does when you do Amazon FBA, because we just, you know, we look at the total and then we download our reports off of Amazon, but now you're doing it with a third party. So make sure you're keeping track of all that information. And if you're going with a prep center, make sure you know what kind of reports and data you can get from them, so that you can have a good tally of those things. You know, I still use my secret weapon of creating a Gmail account for all of my transactions.
The best idea ever.
So my strategy is to create a Gmail account with my name and the word tax on the end. You can create it with your name and the word accounting, or your name and the word bookkeeping on the end. But anyway, so my name is Nicole tax@gmail.com. And then every time I make any type of purchase whatsoever, whether I'm ordering inventory from a wholesale supplier, distributor, whatever, if I'm ordering, making purchases on Walmart or whoever, then I send my receipts to NicoleTax@gmail.com. If I am working with a prep center, when they send me my reports or my invoices or whatever, I forward all of those to NicoleTax@gmail.com. when I am like ordering supplies for shipping or whatever it happens to be. If I need to replace my computer or get a new printer or whatever, I forward that to NicoleTax@gmail.com. If I have VAs that I have hired and I need to keep track of what I'm spending, then I forward that to NicoleTax@gmail.com. In addition to that, I download my Amazon reports and I forward that to NicoleTax@gmail.com as an attachment. And I download my eBay or any other PayPal, whoever you're using, Stripe, whoever you are using for whatever business transactions since you're an online business owner. And I forward all of those to NicoleTax@gmail.com. And then at the end of the year, or whenever you do your quarterlies, when you hand that email account password over to your accountant, they're going to be like, thank you. Especially if you forward it real time. Like if you got the invoice in April and you forward it to NicoleTax@gmail.com, then you can put all your April receipts together, you put all your May receipts together, you put all your June receipts, you can put them in subfolders inside your Gmail account. And it makes it easy for your accountant if there is any type of variance or reconciliation that has it makes it easy for them to be able to sift through that. My bank statements, every time I get bank statements, or if I go and download them, I email them to NicoleTax@gmail.com. So it makes it easy from an accounting standpoint to keep track of that stuff.
Now I'm gonna go email something to NicoleTax@gmail.com.
It's a real account, baby. It's a real account.
But but you said that, but I also want to share something else that's coming down on these tax streets. One of the things that happened in 2017 and 2018, the IRS started conducting audits of more of the bigger corporations. And they's like, you know what? That was the biggest waste of time because we didn't get any money. So they're now turning their attention back to the individual taxpayers. Okay. So they're going to be spending more time auditing individuals than they are with corporations. Mm-hmm. So, and especially with, the sole proprietor, the Schedule C filers, that means you and me. I'm a single member LLC. I still file a Schedule C as well. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. That is not the message here. The message is, like Nicole said, is to make sure your records are tight. So in the event that audit does come, you can hand them your stuff from NicoleTax@gmail.com. Like, here you go, boo boo. And that's really what you want to do, because it doesn't matter how pristine your tax return is. If it's your day, it's your day. That's really what it is. And also along with that is the business structure deal. Getting a lot of people who are getting S corps and things way before they should, just because they heard about saving on self-employment tax, and that is just not the only consideration here. So if you're getting the advice from the street committee right now that, hey, you should be an S corp, please, oh please, oh please, call me. Call somebody with some credentials that can do some math for you and help you figure that out. I have a client right now that has created a $20,000 tax bill just because of this mistake of going to a structure didn't even need, but now it's a $20,000 tax bill. And will he be able to get out of it? We have to see how we can sweet talk somebody. But that's what I'm saying. And so, so I get it, because you see all the street committees tax advice, all the social media tax advice, it sounds really good. Okay. Because the way it's sold, I'm like, if I didn't know any better, I would probably think that was the thing to do. But I'm telling you, invest a couple $100 in a consultation to really find out if that structure is best for you before you do it. There are people that are teaching e-commerce. I get people that call me all the time. I'm listening to so-and-so. I know you need to go to e-com seller, find Nicole Whitlock. That's who you need to find, because some of these other people out here are just simply not reputable with the advice that they're giving people. They're only selling something that they got affiliate links for. Like the online places, they do have affiliate links. So people are selling business structures to you that you don't need and they know zero about.
Yeah.
Absolutely zero. So the bookkeeping piece, you guys, is absolutely foundational. If you have not gotten to where you're getting their structured bookkeeping, I don't care if you're using QuickBooks, Zeros, Zoho Books, FreshBooks, Wave, I don't care what you use, as long as you're using something that integrates, because when you get out here and you have 1,000 transactions, at least a minimum a month, you can't be putting all that in the spreadsheet.
Yeah.
You can't do that.
That's
There
true.
are enough days.
There's not enough.
So you've got to do that. You've got to get that integration. It's going to cost you a little bit more in the beginning, but it's going to save you so much time and headache, because tax time then will not be such a disaster for you.
There you go. So I am so glad that Lysandra came. So give me the link first that you want to share with everybody so I can
Okay. So it's just a simple bit.ly link.
That's fine. So just, if you can you put it to me in Facebook Messenger real quick, and then I'll share it.
Yeah.
Do that. And then the two additional tips that I do is, I use TaxBot for tracking mileage. So you need something to be tracking your mileage, especially if you're out here in these streets, running a little bit of retail arbitrage right now, or picking up inventory or whatever. And then the other thing is, I always take a picture of my receipts. I always make a note on it and take a picture of the receipt. I upload it to TaxBot, but I also forward it to NicoleTax@gmail.com. So those are also additional strategies. There's so many strategies that I could tell you, but that way you have the information you need, so that way when you have to sit down with a Lysandra or somebody else, you're not going, well, I don't know, but I know I made 200. No,
right.
What the books say. that's not what the books say. That's not what it's saying here. So if you in Facebook Messenger, I will share it to the audience.
I'm putting it in here now. I had to, my screen went out to lunch there for a minute.
Mine did too. Mine did too. So yeah. But so if any of you want to take the opportunity to sit down with Lysandra, you can go to Home Biz Tax Lady and go check out Lysandra. Go and take advantage of, maybe scheduling some time with her to talk about your taxes. We are all on that deadline. That deadline is right now. It's right.
And so my link is at the bottom of that sheet. So to my blog, and also to schedule a call if you need to.
Yes.
And but I'm gonna be real honest with y'all, though. I did shut down my open calendar, so you might need to inbox me on Facebook, because you're not gonna. I forgot about that. I shut that down because it was bananas.
She's like, my calendar was crazy.
It was crazy. I shut it down. So you might need to reach out to me on Facebook and say, hey, I need to schedule some time with you. And we do that individually, because the open calendar was like too much. People lost their mind.
All right, so I don't have my glasses on, y'all, so I have to squint, because if I put my glasses on, then I got the glare from the lights. And so, so I have to take these off because I have the glare. But anyway, it says it's a bit.ly and it's 2020 ETD in caps. Bit 2020 ETD in caps. Put it in the chat so that you have it. So wherever you're watching this broadcast from, you can go and download that document. And then just take a gander, make sure that you're keeping track of everything that you need to be able to successfully file, and everything that your accountant is going to love you for having. Keep track of everything is so important, because it'll save you a bunch of time and a bunch of energy and a bunch of stress later on. It really will.
Yeah.
So
tax time will not suck. I promise you, it will not.
I'm just going to be honest. I know my tax time this year is going to suck, but it'll be okay. I will get through it.
Yeah, you'll get through it. And so, but if you start doing those simple disciplines now, then it will eventually get better. I promise you. I promise you that.
And I say mine is going to suck because I have 2 special needs kids. So I have a bunch of stuff. I have a lot of extra considerations that the average person does not. And mine is, the more I keep track of my stuff, the easier it is for the person that has to do it. So I just want to encourage you all. If you are a person that wants to go ahead and apply for PPP, go ahead and apply for it. If you have all of if you filed last year, as Lysandra said, the
EIDL.
EIDL, if you want to apply for that as well, make sure you do that. She said before September the 30th, get it done, and do all you can to, continue to keep good records, especially during this period where, like, again, people's inventory is getting lost, people's inventory is getting stranded. Stuff for some people didn't come across from China; they already paid for it. So you need to keep track of everything, so that way you don't have any problems reconciling at the end of the year or writing off what you need to write off.
Yeah.
So Lysandra, thank you for taking the time today to share.
Absolutely. Always happy to come and hang out and share with my econ buddies.
We hope this was a blessing to you. You can always check out Lysandra again, Lysandra Everett at Home Biz Tax Lady. So go check her out, homebiztaxlady.com. I owns the domain. You can find her on Facebook Messenger. Lysandra. Okay, what's the middle? I forget. You have 3 names. What are you on Facebook?
Oh, I'm on Facebook. I'm Lysandra Gass Everett. That's my whole name. That's my whole.
I never remember that. And I'm like, I always just go Lysandra Everett. Why can't I find her? Okay. So anyway, so there is another name in the middle, Gass, in the middle of that. So to find her on Facebook. But yes, go ahead and follow her. She also has an amazing YouTube channel. Go check her out over there. Go follow her. And she's always giving away great tax advice. So definitely connect with Lysandra. So thank you, Lysandra.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me. Good luck to you guys.
Yes. Those taxes done.
Okay, for real. And go boss out in Q4. Go boss out. Okay. Get your whole life.